are you balancing your spiritual pursuits? We'll call them spiritual pursuits, just using the lingo of the day, with grounding in your everyday human life. Many of you have heard the phrase, the higher the branches, the deeper the roots. Welcome to the Activations with JJ September 2024 monthly energy update. In today's episode, you'll hear about some of the energetic themes coming up for the collective this month and how those themes might shape or mold your ascension journey in the coming weeks. I'm excited to dive in, so let's get going. Greetings, beautiful souls. Overjoyed to be here with you again. You can feel my inner child coming through that light language. A little bit wanted to come out there. Thank you for receiving. Wow. We are here. We are in September. Can you believe it? This year has just gone by so quickly. But the funny thing about this year going by quickly is that there's also times that feel like it's been forever and it's only been like 2 weeks. Like I'm sitting here and reflecting on the Mount Shasta conference. And it feels like that was 5 years ago now, because I think what happened was once most of us landed from the conference, we shifted timelines so much, and not just those who were in the conference or at the conference in person, but so many of you. You could probably tell me like on multiple hands how many timelines you feel like you've shifted in the last little bit. And I've talked about it a lot, both here on the podcast and in my Instagram. I've been coming on to do a few more lives. So if you're not following me there, check it out. I end up turning them into almost like mini podcasts. I don't mean to. They just come out that way. But it's a little way of expressing things that are on my heart and mind. And it tends to be pretty impromptu, but it's fun to have you on there live. It's almost like I'm able to record it, but also have people's responses and feel your energy. So yeah, join me over there on Instagram. That being said, wow, this month's themes were fascinating for me. First of all, the fact that they came in 4. So there are 4 themes. I felt like this is a very foundational energy coming in. They're actually very grounded themes. And of course, for the Northern Hemisphere, we're shifting into the fall. For the Southern Hemisphere, shifting into the spring. But for both hemispheres, are we not entering a season of balance with the equinox? So that's a little hint to one of the themes this month. I want to remind you that as I do these podcast episodes with the monthly energy updates, and I am not a stranger to the fact that there are lots of people doing lots of energy updates. I think it's a beautiful thing because I think we're all reflections of each other, and it's fun to have all the different ice cream flavors and all the ones that you get to choose from. I remember back when I did not have a podcast and I was listening to lots of other people's podcasts, and that was really instrumental in where I am today. So I appreciate all of the people who do their energy updates, who express themselves. And I honor the fact that as you listen to different people's energy updates, you might feel that certain themes resonate and others don't. And I 100% support you in taking what you need and leaving behind what you don't right now. But also, if you're new, one of the little fun invitations that I extend at the beginning of almost all of my monthly energy updates is to take some time after you've listened to this and tune in on your own. You may be meditating, you may be going for a walk, and I want you to just think about and call in actually the energy themes that are most important for you to focus on for the month of September 2024. All right, so just take some time. These are themes that apply to the collective. You're going to have some of these themes overlap with your personal themes, and then there will be other themes that are unique to you that come forward through your very own channel. Now, that being said, I'm ready to shift into the meat. I don't eat meat, but I say meat, I don't know why, of the podcast with the 4 themes. Before I do, I want to make a quick comment about the fact that, oh my goodness, in just about a week, I'm launching 2 courses that I only do. Well, one of them I've done usually typically twice a year. The other one is brand new, and I don't know when I'm going to do it again. This has become a thing. My team will say, JJ, somebody reached out and wants to know if you're going to do it again. I can't guarantee anytime I'm going to do something again. But these 2 are focused on light language. So if you haven't already checked out my website or the links below, we have light language group mentorship, perfect for beginners. If you have not really activated your light language, any kind, spoken, written, hand, this is the perfect container for you. It's also good for those of you who have done teeny tiny bit, maybe a little bit came out in a like plant medicine ceremony and you're like, I don't know what's going on. Great container for you. Light language group mentorship. It's a 4-week course. Along with a second container I'll be running simultaneously, kind of for a different level. This one is for those of you who are a little bit more experienced in spoken light language. This is called Light Language Quantum Leap. And we will be exploring so many incredible topics that I've always wanted to cover when it comes to light language and never have been able to, including but not limited to calibrating your singing to be able to channel light language through that and interpreting your light language and other people's light language. So those 2 are the big offerings, the big courses that I'll be running this month. It's not too late to sign up. I would love to have you join us. Click on the links below if you're interested. All right, now let's dive into those themes for September 2024. First of all, I want to let you know that they were coming through in a very simple way. And I was like, are these too basic? But again, I said this already. They're foundational. They're foundational. And I feel like you're going to feel that too. So I think there is like an umbrella theme. It's been coming forward a lot in the last little bit. Each month, there's almost this theme that's kind of overlighting all the other themes. And the one common thread between all 4 of these topics that I'm going to talk about today is foundation. Foundation. There's 4, which really represents that. And in foundation, you're feeling grounding, you're feeling anchoring, you're feeling all of that energy. So just keeping that in mind today. And I also feel drawn to just calibrate us to receive all of these messages by bringing through some light language to help you ground and anchor into your body. So taking a deep breath, ooh, I love that. Take a deep breath. Sometimes I even don't know what I'm about to do. And it's coming through and I'm like, oh, I feel like this is them. It reminds me of in my community, in my starseed gridwork community, which is like my membership. Every single month I bring through a channeled message and a special light language activation for the community that is exclusive to that space. And this month, guess what? It feels like I was bringing through and channeling that energy. It was like the inner earth grandmothers, the inner earth mothers. And so if you're part of the community or you feel drawn to join the community, you can listen to that in our portal. But it's like they came back. They're like, hey, we're here. So I love that they came in. All right, let's talk about those topics. So number 1, I already alluded to, spoiler alert, I already mentioned the fact that we are here at the time of the equinox. And so balance is a huge theme. It happens to be my birthday month this month. And I am a Virgo Libra cusp baby. And so I am very much into the balance piece. And so I want you to think about your life right now. Just take a little inventory because this is kind of an interactive podcast today. I really felt like I'm shifting into more of an interactive style where I want to give you some time and space during the episode to ponder, to reflect. So balance, as I bring that up, what's top of mind for me is, are you balancing your spiritual pursuits? We'll call them spiritual pursuits, just using the lingo of the day, with grounding in your everyday human life. I, for one, notice when things are getting off balance in that area, and it's very simple. And I actually appreciate doing menial things like making dinner or, cleaning my bathroom mirror. I was doing these random like laundry. And it was like my guides were like, listen, you're here to appreciate and be present for your human experience, not to escape it. So remember to continue to check in with yourself, to take inventory of how you are balancing all of this way out there spiritual stuff with the grounding in your everyday human life. Many of you have heard the phrase somewhat like the longer or the higher the branches, the deeper the roots. And that is something that I want to place into your awareness too, because as we are expanding in our sort of galactic star, heavenly, celestial pursuits, awareness is expanding in that area. And you could even see it physically from like your crown, expanding in our crown, because a lot of us are bringing our psychic senses in. Are we expanding and extending down into our roots, into our root chakra and our earth star chakra? Are we connecting with Gaia as much as we are connecting with the stars? Now, in the end, if you want to take it even like bigger picture and zoom out a little bit, all of it is one, and I know that. But for some of the more linear-minded parts of us, it's important to hold space for that sense of balance that we can cultivate within our lives. I will tell you, one of the ways I stay so grounded, see, one of the observations people make about me and my energy and my messages is that I feel very grounded, very real life. And I'm telling you, I am not faking that. It is all real life around here, okay? At my house, we are doing all the human things. I cannot avoid them. I cannot escape. I cannot close myself up in my room and channel for 5 hours straight. I'm constantly being, I want to say interrupted, but, my family is there. And so in my particular case, it's basically by force, okay? I wasn't one of the people that the guides were like, they'll figure it out on their own. The guides were like, no, she definitely needs a big family to keep her grounded. So here you go, poof, there you go. So that's my experience. All of you, I know it, I have no doubt, have those things in your life that are helping you to stay grounded. And sometimes they may irritate you. I'm feeling this right now as I'm tuning into this group. All your guides are like, yeah, those are the things that bug you sometimes. And I want you to think about some of the things that kind of bother you. We'll talk about it in a spiritual mindset, like, oh, those low density people or those low density places. And I guess maybe kind of looking at it without judgment, you could just think of it as, oh, those grounding things, the things that keep us anchored into earth. I have a beautiful friend, Alex, who is a lead grid worker in our starseed grid work community. And I remember working with her and she was like, I'm finally accepting my human. I'm human. And she was like her mantra, where most people are like, I want to know my star family. She's like, I'm human. She had enough star and she needed her human. And just the other day, I had the exact same sort of phrase come through where it's like, it's safe to be human. It's safe to feel human. And I know as I'm saying that, I can actually feel some of the response there from parts of us that are maybe not feeling that way, or maybe growing up we didn't feel that way. So I just want to take a moment and allow you to let that come up and allow you to witness any of those feelings that you're getting right now, that it might not feel so comfortable to be human. And what also wants to come forward from our collective guides, I'm so grateful to them for being here to help me bring this through. All the wisdom, literally all the wisdom, the collective wisdom, is the magic of our physical body. I was in a live cosmic channeling circle this last month in August. I do these every month in Los Angeles. If you're in, town, please feel free to join us. And what came forward was so awesome. It was like basically tuning into the magic of your human body. What a blessing and an honor it is to have a human body. And also, I know other people, other channelers have spoken about this. I cannot quote them right now because it's escaping me. But basically the idea, I think it was Dolores Cannon for sure, but the fact that we have the physical body allows us to transmute and shift more rapidly than we would have without this physical vessel. And that's just like the tip of the iceberg of what I'm trying to bring forward. But I just want you to think about that, because I truly believe that each and every one of you will receive more. I'm kind of just opening the door to these concepts, right? With all of these, like all 4 of these topics, I'm opening the door, and you can dive really deep into these on your own this month if you choose to. So that last piece of this first topic is our physical vessel and how it's a superpower. There you go. Our physical body is not a hindrance. It is a superpower. Why were there lines of souls waiting to be incarnated on the planet at this time? I'm not the only channeler that has talked about this, because this is a very unique opportunity to evolve very rapidly. And it's magical because of all the senses that we have. We sometimes, I think, place our clairs, like our sight and seeing and hearing and all that of the non-physical, we put that like on a pedestal, right? But friends, listen carefully. There are many souls who would do anything to perceive in the physical through a physical body with human eyes, human ears, human taste, human touch. So isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting just to consider? All right, so that's topic number 1, balance. Very simple, very foundational. Number 2 is also foundational, and it surprised me that this came forward. I was having a conversation with one of my beautiful friends, Marissa of Starseed, and many of you probably follow her. She's an incredible channeler. She's holding beautiful frequencies, and she is also a grid worker. We were at Shasta at the same time doing our own things, and then we touched base afterwards. But what was on her mind, and it was also on mine, it was like a confirmation of a topic that I wanted to bring through for this, was how we as maybe like a spiritual community could do a little better in putting into practice the embodiment of compassion and all of these high ideals that we say we're bringing through by physically participating and contributing and volunteering in our local communities. I think sometimes we hide away. I don't want to say hide away, maybe escape. I don't know if that's the right word. Shelter. There's a lot. I'm getting that there's a lot. Like there's times, in past lives where it's like being spiritual, we're outcasts or whatever it is. But if you look at the great teachers of and ascended masters, right? They absolutely served in their communities. They did not only interact with those wanting to tune into the sort of esoteric stuff. They were able to show up everywhere and anywhere and hold the same frequency, but modulate it to serve whoever it was or whatever it was they were surrounded by at that given moment in time. So whether you're stepping into the grocery store and smiling at everybody who will give you eye contact, or you're attending a spiritual conference, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you're showing up and channeling those frequencies everywhere you go. So the invitation is, again, this whole thing about placing things on pedestals, since I just talked about that in the last theme just a moment ago. It's like we tend to value or put more value on our spiritual participation in spiritual communities. Let me put it that way. And we prioritize that. Would it be possible for us to take and bring into equal position serving our local, everyday human people, places around us through very simple actions, through very, very simple actions? I can see, I'm just tuning in here because I feel like this message is like allowing me to envision what that could look like so that you all have tangible examples of it. But I mean anywhere from just sending love bubbles in your community to speaking to people. How many times, and I know we hold I think a lot of us are cocooned, have been cocooned, all this stuff about, like social anxiety. I get it. I'm not dismissing that. But can we not then say, I'm ready to show up for my community? And the funny thing is I was actually talking to Marissa about this, and we know we're in an election year. I was talking to a couple of people about the fact that we're in an election year. And this is coming to the forefront, and I'm talking about for the United States, right? This is where I live. Showing up, and it doesn't have to be being a political activist, okay? Some people are called to do that. But when and how we volunteer is up to us and our own intuition and our circumstances. But just taking and calling in that information, what can we do? Pondering and reflecting on how to show up in our communities as much as we ponder and reflect how to attain certain levels of spiritual accomplishments is sort of the vibe that I'm getting, that I'm aiming for. So I want to just hold space for you to potentially call in this very moment in time while we're co-creating here. Any little glimmers of information that might be in your fields to assist you with ideas on how to show up in your community, how to serve in your community. Maybe you have skills or gifts that you can give. And this isn't just about outward, obvious volunteerism, although that's a wonderful thing. It's again about the connecting. It's about showing up for the people, for the humans. And this is all part of unity consciousness. If we can't even step into our community and acknowledge there's a community and acknowledge the needs of the community, how can we truly build the new earth? So, if this wasn't already obviously a very grounded subject, you get it by now. This was topic number 2, and whoosh, that one is complete. Let's bring forward number 3. Number 3 is anchoring in templates of the divine family. And I hesitate to even bring that verbiage in because I know, my friends, how loaded that verbiage is, the idea of family, that topic, what it can evoke, depending on your experiences with family or your current experience with family. Because there's a lot going back and forth about traditional family, non-traditional family, including and excluding and all the things, whether you feel marginalized or not marginalized. So I'm sitting here just honoring whatever that's bringing forward for you, but setting the intention that it's time to sort of reframe the idea of divine family, because I'm hearing right now, so loud and clear, is divine trinity. Divine trinity, I'm going to say it in this terminology, but not because more of a template and an energy, not like the actual, not attached to gender or type of person, but mother, father, child, masculine, feminine, child. I could even say it like that. And knowing that some of you might be sitting here, maybe you're single, maybe you're retired, you're single, you're in a situation where that divine family, you're like, but how did I do that? How do I help with this template? And that's where your intuition comes in too. Because I wouldn't be bringing this forward if it weren't something for all of us to work on, whether we were in like what could be considered a traditional nuclear family or not. It's not really about what it looks like on the outside. It's about the frequency of this divine trinity, divine family energy. And what you will be able to receive, and if you're listening to this right when I uploaded it, you won't quite have access because I usually do it the day after, but this is my channeled message and activation for the month of September. It's around the Divine Family template. So because it's coming through very fluid and in frequencies, energies, not really like tangible things I can articulate with words, it's something that I think needs to be conveyed in the style that I will be conveying it, in that channeled message and in the light language. The guides that I feel coming forward that I will be channeling are basically, essentially, and this is again a template like Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, and then the eternal child energy. But you could also see that reflected in so many ways, in so many traditions, in so many mythologies, and all of the different cultures have that template, those archetypal energies. The divine family archetype or template is vital to our expansion in a balanced way into the communities of the new earth. And I am immediately getting this information right now, like in real time right now. It's nothing I planned on saying. But what I'm hearing is it's underpinning the community piece that I just talked about. Because as above, so below. As we stabilize, like literally in our own home, however we show up in our own home is a reflection of how we'll show up in our community, is a reflection of how we will show up in the world, is a reflection of how this collective shows up in our solar system and in our galaxy, which matters. I know we don't always know how that is because that happens like from different perspectives, and however we show up in our communities is a reflection of how we show up at home and then how we show up for ourselves. And I'm really tempted to go right into topic number 4 because this is like the perfect weaving, but I feel like there's a little bit more I need to say about anchoring the templates of the divine family, although most will come in that channeled message that you can find on my podcast. And again, if you are only listening to me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any podcasting platform, you're missing some of my content because there are certain things I put on those platforms and other things I only have on YouTube. So make sure you hop over to YouTube and subscribe to that because you're going to get like honestly twice as much content from me. You may not have even known that I did, but I do. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of holding space for, I'm feeling some like shame, guilt, some emotions coming up in our emotional body around the idea of divine family. Predominantly in the masculine, because I'm feeling it on the right side of my body. And especially holding space for those of you in a biologically male body who are listening to this right now, because I can feel this really interesting energy of like I'm a disappointment. I just keep hearing this word like, oh, I'm a disappointment. Like I'm not showing up the way I need to be. And all I feel like we need to do is just witness that. I'm just witnessing that sort of collective emotion coming forward. And then any sort of discord between the divine masculine, the divine feminine, as sometimes embodied in a divine family through a man and a woman, or someone holding those frequencies in certain ways, I am feeling like this need to sort of reharmonize that. And I am the first person to acknowledge all the different ways, shapes, and forms that families like are embodied on the planet today, like in so many non-traditional ways. I am the biggest supporter of all the ways that this expression of divine family frequency is coming forward in all the humans that are modeling it for us, no matter what they look like or what it looks like. And I'm being reminded of Lemuria and the way the things happened in Lemuria. They were still able to embody these frequencies, but I have read different books from different channelers and also tuned in myself to the fact that the way people came together to co-create a baby or a child didn't mean that those two people were connected together forever. So this idea of family was so totally different in Lemuria. And there are other times and places and ways and everything else where it is two people that are committed to like the more long term. But we are attached. There's so much. I feel this is honestly a little bit of a I want to say complex, even though there's programming to that, but this is kind of a complex topic, and I know this isn't the first time I'll talk about it. So would you just mind holding space for the complexity of this? Because I feel it's so important for us. I feel this tendency that because this is complex, we just want to run away and hide and stick our head in the sand about this whole divine family thing. It's muddled in society today. It's caused discord. It's caused conflict. I get it. But they're like, hang on, just wait. All of our guides are like, just wait, just look at it. Just look at it. The longer you look at it, you'll get it. You'll get it. You'll have your aha moment. You'll know what it means for you. You'll know what it means for the collective. Whew. Beautiful. Thank you for taking that moment to do that. We're all doing this together. We're all doing this together. All right, are you ready for topic number 4? Topic number 4 is home. Yeah, that's it. The word home. I have more to say about it. It was really funny because as I was sitting down to bring in the topics and just connecting with the guides and everything, I heard the word home and I was like, that's not a topic. And I immediately dismissed it. I was like, why is that word coming into my mind? That's not a topic. What is that? I can't even talk about that. Like, what the heck? And all of a sudden, I was still formulating all of the topics and I couldn't, it was like home. Okay, fine. What is it about home? And so then all of a sudden what was brought into my remembrance was a few instances over the last couple, I would say like month or so. And it's been very interesting when these patterns come up. This is why I still do one-on-one sessions. And actually, I'm doing my quantum alignment one-on-one sessions. So I don't have too many one-on-one sessions available this month, unless you're in person. If you're in LA, I always make time and space because I love doing in-person sessions so much. But the online sessions I'm doing are these quantum alignment sessions. And if you check the link below, there could be a few left. I never know how long they're going to be available. There are a limited amount, but I have my quantum alignment. We just did our workshop. It was our quantum alignment workshop, which was incredible. But I have some quantum alignment one-on-one sessions. And what happens in the sessions, because I'm going on a major tangent, sorry about that, is that I am receiving feedback around collective things that are coming forward. And do you know what one of them is? I'll go back to what I was saying. Home. People missing home. I just want to go home. I miss home. Now they come to me, and you probably know, they come to me because I am connected to galactic energies. And a lot of times people feel like It must be my star family that I'm missing. It must be my star family that I'm missing. However, let me expand on that because I learned something very interesting. I am all about connecting people with their star families. I'm all about that. But what I was shown and what came forward was people that are missing their star families are missing more than just their star families. We cannot neglect or discount the law of correspondence, which is as above, so below. If you are missing your star family, it's a reflection of missing another home or being disconnected from other versions or archetypal home frequencies. So then it's like, well, wait a minute. So are you saying that if I reconnect someone through like channeled messages, light language, guided meditation, the different ways I do, if I reconnect someone to their star family, will it completely get rid of their need to, like their I guess they're longing for home? No, not necessarily. Is it a beautiful reunion? It always is. It's so awesome. And it will reverberate. But there are other, like it's a multidimensional, how do I say this? It's a multidimensional journey home. It's a multidimensional journey home. And guess what? You can't just take the journey home outside yourself. You have to take the journey home to yourself. And I love it when this happens because I just realized we're going right back to topic number 1. And this means the podcast is almost over because whenever my messages begin to overlap, we have completed the thought process. What did I say at the beginning? The higher the branches, the deeper the roots. The more you search for home outside yourself, the deeper you need to search for home inside yourself. Do not, I'm not usually this straightforward, but I'm just going to say it like this because I feel like I'm channeling, okay? Do not neglect your journey home inside or distract yourself with all of the journeys home outside yourself. We in a little light language to help integrate that. Whoa, I feel like a big wave of awareness and whoosh, confirmation. So many of you know that I have a lot of offerings, okay? I know I do. This month I do have my 2 light language courses, but I also have coming up very, very soon a sacred initiation journey. And it's actually already open and available. This is essentially a mystery school, but it is the journey home within. It just occurred to me. My guides are like, JJ, this is why you do something way over here and something way over there because you like balance. So my offerings literally embody the balance. It is a buffet, and I get it. So what I've found works best for people is basically like checking in with their own body, like which offering is one that I need right now. It's a buffet because I like to eat. I'm like, I want to be able to provide. I'm a mom, for goodness sakes. I love having the table full of stuff. I'm like, I know this kid's going to eat these 2 things. I know that kid over there is going to eat these things. And this one right here is going to eat this one thing with all of this ranch dressing dumped all over it, right? This is what I do with my offerings. This is literally my activations with JJ. All the things I do. I do starseed grid work, like with Gaia, with the planet. Then I go over here and I do sacred initiation journey, which is gridding inside of you. Gridding inside of you. and all the things all over the place. And it's like, oh, that's why I do that. And my guides are like, yes, that's why you do that. And I don't judge or put anything above anything else, because I know that everybody needs something a little bit different depending on where they're at in their journey. You guys understand this concept because you are also curating your experiences, even like just with podcasts. You're curating who you need to listen to at any given moment in time. And some are going to be more about the stuff like the stars and the galaxies and the aliens and UFOs and all that stuff. And some of them are going to be like goddess, priestess, or mystery schools or science or whatever it is. You're curating that all the time. But I'm just curating balance among my personal offerings. So that being said, home. Are you diving home inside, inward, and are ready to branch outward and connect with your home, your star family, galactic family? Light language is good for that. By the way, light language is good for that. I want to leave you with one little thought that's coming through, because I am bringing this full circle. And this is to kind of basically tie a bow on everything. Balance. Most people, here's what's coming in, okay? All right, hang on. They're like, this is a grand finale. You need to pause. Most people, when they feel stuck, aren't necessarily blocked. They're just in a state of imbalance. Think about that. It's not stuck. It's not blocked. It's out of balance. Please, please, please remember that I am sending you so much love. And I am reminding you that I am you, and you are me, and we are we. Until next time, my friends.